Hello, good afternoon, Tribuners. Welcome back with Bibu Tiara in Indonesia News of Tribun Lampung. We will present you an updating and interesting information from every place in Indonesia. And here the complete news. The first news is Prabowo goes forward as a presidential candidate. The support of the entire Regional Representative Council of the Gerindra Party so that the General Chairperson of their party, Prabowo Subianto, will run as a presidential candidate in the 2024 presidential election. Prabowo Subianto is finally willing to run as a presidential candidate in the next 2024 presidential election. Prabowo Subianto's readiness was stated in the opening of the Gerindra Party National Leadership Meeting at the Sentul International Convention Center, Bogor Regency, West Java, on Friday, August 12, 2022. According to Prabowo Subianto, he wants to run because the entire Regional Representative Council and the Gerindra Wing organization expect him to run again as a presidential candidate in the 2024 presidential election. Prabowo's statement was then greeted by shouts from the participants of the Gerindra National Leadership Meeting. Prabowo said that since he was young, he and his fighters have vowed to be ready to give body and soul to the Republic Indonesia. The next news is Indra Kenz faced 20 years in prison. Indra Kesuma, alias Indra Kenz, underwent his first trial with the agenda of reading the indictment of the Tangerang District Court on Friday, August 11, 2022. In the trial, which was held in Room 1, Indra Kenz appeared to be present online. He wore a white shirt and attended the trial of the South Tangerang District Attorney. Indra Kenz was charged with multiple articles by the public prosecutor of the South Tangerang District Attorney, which faced a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison. For the contents of the indictment, the public prosecutor of the South Tangerang District Attorney who was present at the trial, namely Kristanto Anggara Tomide, explained it. The articles suspected of the defendant. The articles that Indra Kenz violated included Article 45, Paragraph 2 of the ITE law, namely without the right to distribute electronic documents containing material containing gambling. Second, Article 45, letter A of the ITE law, namely spreading false news that causes harm to consumers. In addition, the public prosecutor also said that there were 144 binomo victims scattered throughout Indonesia. Previously, the Directorate of Economic Crimes and Special Criminal Investigation Agency of Republik Indonesia Police officially named Indra Kesuma, alias Indra Kenz, as a suspect in the binomo trading application fraud and gambling case on the 24th of February 2022. In these cases, hundreds of customers suffer losses of hundreds to billion rupiah. During the investigation of the case, the Criminal Investigation Agency has detained Indra since March 2022. The next news is, wife doesn't want to be reconciled, husband kills wife. The police revealed the motive for the husband murder of his wife in Kanan, Padang Iring Village, Rantetayo District, Tana Toraja Regency, South Sulawesi, on Friday, August 12, 2022. The head of the Tana Toraja Resort Police Criminal Investigation Unit, Police Commissioner Adjutant Syed Ahmad, explained that the perpetrator Hasan Basri, with the age 70 years old, killed his wife Zubaida, with the age 68 years old, using a sharp weapon. The incident began when the suspect entered the victim's room. The perpetrator wanted to invite the victim to get along after being separated for a long time. Unfortunately, the perpetrator's good intentions were rejected by the victim. The victim even kicked the perpetrator out of the room. When expelled, the perpetrator persisted while persuading the victim. The victim was emotional, took a machete, and then attacked the perpetrator. Not accepting his wife's action, the perpetrator was angry. He also took a sharp weapon and killed his wife. After committing the murder, the perpetrator slept beside his wife's body. Until the next day, the husband and wife were found by residents. Ahmad added that the perpetrator has now been named a suspect and detained at Tana Toraja Regency Detention Center. To note, the incident of a husband killing his wife occurred on Tuesday, the 28th of July 2022. The victim was found dead by a resident in a pathetic condition. The next news is, 3 members of the Martial Arts College who were involved in the beating were arrested. The Blitar City Resort Police Criminal Investigation Unit arrested 3 members of the Martial Arts College who beat motorists in Blitar City. Video footage of the beating by members of the Silat College against the driver had gone viral on social media. The first reported beating case occurred on Street Diponegoro, or in front of the Kebon Rojo City Park, Blitar City. In the first case, the police arrested 2 suspects, namely 20 years old RDI and 16 years old RD, both residents of Sulawesi Village, Tangerang District, Blitar Regency. One of the perpetrators, RD, is still a minor and was not present when the case was released. Meanwhile, the victim, 32 years old, is a resident of Tangerang Village, Tangerang District, Blitar Regency. Apart from the 2 perpetrators, it is suspected that there were 10 other people in the convoy who changing up on the victim. Police are still developing the case. Meanwhile, the second beating case occurred on Street Imam Bonjol, Blitar City. The police arrested 1 perpetrator, namely BDW, with a 20 years old, a resident of Soso Village, Tangerang District, Blitar Regency. In this case, the victim, Lenly RE, with the age 32 years old, an online motorcycle taxi driver from Tangerang Village, Sukorejo District, Blitar City. At the time, the victim was delivering orders to customers. While passing in front of the Kanan Wetan sector police to the north, the victim passed a group of Martial Arts College convoys. The victim was asked to stop, and when the victim stopped, the perpetrator approached the victim and then hit the more cloth on the victim. Furthermore, the perpetrator got off the motorbike and hit the victim and was followed by a number of other members of the convoy. According to Argo, the video footage of the 2 beatings had gone viral on social media. From the video recording evidence, the police arrested several perpetrators. The next news comes from Palembang. Thugs beat up by mob in Palembang. The mob was beaten by a mob in Palembang Alang-Alang Lebar Sub-District, Palembang on Tuesday, August 11, 2022. This thief, who was beaten by a mob in Palembang, named Anton Sujarwo, was 32 years old, a resident of Sukasari Street, Talang Kelapa Village, Alang-Alang Lebar Sub-District, Palembang. Unfortunately, before the robbers were beaten by the mob, the man, who is still single, was first beaten by the victim, who gave resistance at the scene. When Anton was helpless, people gradually began to arrive. The raw Bokem repeatedly met the resident of Bali Regency who live on Sukasari Street, Palembang, even were reluctant to move. Anton said that the incident happened because he was desperate to get money to pay for his brother's motorbike, which he had just pawned. Anton clearly admitted that he was addicted to slots and had just lost 700,000 rupiah last night. Instead, he was forced to pawn his brother's motorbike to temporarily cover the debt. Because the motorbike had already been pawned, Anton returned to his sister's house on foot. When he arrived at the scene on Tanjung Duku Street, Talang Kelapa Village, Alang-Alang Lebar Sub-District, Palembang, Anton admitted that he accidentally saw a piece of wood lying on the side of the road. At the time, evil intentions emerging in his heart to rob a motorbike in the hope of getting money soon. Anton admitted that it was his first time dealing with the police. The victim is Sunday, a resident of Talang Kelapa Housing Block 6, Talang Kelapa Village, Alang-Alang Lebar District, who was riding his two children to school at around 20 minutes to 6 a.m. at the time of the incident. One child sat in front of Sandy and the other in the back. Anton's punch with his wood almost hit Sandy's son, who was sitting in front. Luckily, the blow was successful. Sandy brushed it aside and ended up wrestling with the perpetrator. The next news is, one car caught fire in West Manggarai. One unit of Mitsubishi Colt diesel brand car with license plate number EB Active 456G in West Manggarai Regency caught fire on Thursday, August 11, 2022. The car, driven by Yohanes Ngada, a resident of Mabor Watuangka Village, Sanong Goang District, West Manggarai Regency, experiences a fire in Nampar Mancing, Gololeleng Village, Sanong Goang District on Thursday afternoon. The car was carrying a number of medical thieves brought from Labuan Bajo, but the transport truck had an accident on the Trans-Florence Labuan Bajo Ruteng route precisely at the Dopoti Junction. Check the location, Campo Village, Beliling District, West Manggarai Regency. Mobile Resort Police Chief Feli Hermanto took the head of the Sanong Gotang Sector Police. Second Police Inspector Juhari said the vehicle that caught fire was a car transporting medical equipment from a car that had an accident in case Deki to be taken to Ruteng. The fire incident occurred during the trip and the driver noticed that from the rear view mirror there were flames. There were no fatalities or injuries in the incident. However, all of the car's belongings and the inside of the car's tailgate also caught fire. Until now, it is not known for sure the origin of the source of the fire. The last news is, two buildings of the General Election Commission Office of Tana Toraja Regency caught fire. The in-office team of the Bulungan Resort Police rushed to the scene of the fire that scorched two buildings of the General Election Commission Office of Tana Toraja Regency. In today's activities on Tuesday, August 11, 2022, the in-office Bulungan Resort Police is conducting an investigation or processing of the crime scene or the place of the incident. The Society Police Chief, Second Police Inspector Abu Suhudi said that as many as 4 North Kalimantan Regional Police Officers and 3 Bulungan Resort Police Officers rushed to the scene of the crime. Regarding evidence, he conveyed that there were several pieces of evidence that have been secured from the result of the crime scene. However, he did not mention in detail what evidence was secured. In addition, he said as many as 3 witnesses in a fire incident at the General Election Commission Office of Tana Toraja Regency were questioned. Well, I think that's all the news for today with me, Mutiara. Don't forget to follow us in Tribun Lampung News Video YouTube, Tribun Lampung Facebook, Tribun Lampung Instagram, and Tribun Lampung TikTok for further information. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.